Hi guys. This is my week 3 ethnography report discussion. Let's see if I can actually say that. Ethnography. I'm Dale Stiles, and this is for Communications 3613. I was given 4 words: static, dynamic, dialectic, self-disclosure, peace building, and culture shock. And I decided to go with culture shock because I think I've been there, maybe a little. So, culture shock is going on my very first overseas deployment back before the buddy system was mandatory and getting separated from the group in the shops on the streets. In front of me were fake Rolexes, fake Levi's 501s, fake everything, and the prices weren't half bad. I mean, the Rolexes were like 25 bucks. The Levi's were $3. And I actually bought a couple of pair of Levi's. My friends had disappeared into a karaoke bar, and I wouldn't see them for at least several more hours. I encountered a group of locals with a bald eagle tied to a leash, and that's illegal here in America, but they were offering, that I could take a picture for a couple of pennies. And so I gave them a couple of bucks. I took several pictures. No idea where they are now, but I was able to get a couple of Polaroids with this bald eagle sitting on my shoulder, and it was cool. Kind of picked at me a little bit, but it was kind of neat. Um, then I got hungry and was thirsty, and I didn't have anything to eat, and I didn't have anything to drink. And the only thing I could find were these funny looking sea creatures. Those little carts that you kind of push along. They had those, and little glass cases, and they kept them all warm. And there was little dried out, crusty things, little bits of octopus and squid and who knows what else, shrimp, and none of it looked appealing, and it smelled funny. So then I found somebody serving hamburgers, So I said, well, I'll have one of those, and it was delicious, and it wasn't hamburger. So anyway, then I started to get a little disoriented and a little concerned. I mean, as the afternoon started to drag towards evening, um, I hadn't seen anybody. They had disappeared in all these little corner spots. The karaoke bar and everything else was there. They're drinking, and I'm alone. It was weird. Um, I didn't understand how much things were, but we kind of, I showed them my money, and they kind of took what they wanted, and it seemed fair, and I wasn't spending a lot. I knew how much I had, and I kind of figured it out. Um, but as time went on, I started to get a little more concerned for my safety, even though there was no real indication that I needed to be concerned. Was a little concerned just the same. But eventually, I found my way back to the landing, and I could see my ship out in the harbor. And I waited for the Liberty boat to return. And I took my purchases to the ship and went out with another group of friends who actually promised to stick with me, and at least until I was better oriented. And so I adjusted, and eventually had a great time. But my first port was definitely a culture shock.